What's good, y'all? So, once again, welcome to the Black Palace section of my channel where it's a black man sharing his thoughts with his people. If you are uncomfortable with black people having conversations amongst one another, feel free to leave right now. But I implore you to just stick around and listen. You don't have to be black to sit down and listen. So, stop feeling alienated, people. Anywho, I wanted to talk to my people about school, more specifically, public schooling. You know, that's the first, well, it's not the first, but it's one of the first traps that we're in, that are laid here for us. Oh, you have to go to school. You have to go get an education. Okay, yes, we should be educating our kids, but we should be educating our kids. Let me just go ahead and give you a little bit of foresight of where I'm going with this conversation. This is not our history. That's his story. That's how we break it down now these days, right? This is his story. Christopher Columbus discovered America. They don't tell you about all the black people that were here. The Indians, the Redskins, that's here to throw us off. Another reason why in the age of Aquarius, they were forced to change the name of the Redskins to the Washington football team. Because I do believe in that sense it was a lie. Partially. Like there may be some people that identify like Redskin, but what I'm saying is they don't tell you about the people that look like you and me that were walking around in this place called North America, South America. They don't tell you all that. Christopher Columbus came here. He was a great person. Like we still have Columbus Day on our calendars when the truth is being revealed more and more. And that's still on the calendars. Y'all don't find that interesting? This is what the school system prepares you for. Think about it like this, right? First grade starts when you're what, 5, 6, 7 years old? And you are in there until you're about 16, 17 years old. Something like that. Regardless, you are in there for a decade. I started school in pre-K, pre-kindergarten. If you speak to any teacher, they will refer to it as K through 12. Kindergarten, K through 12, 12th grade, when you graduate, right? With that degree. And I've already said this before. What is a degree? What is that diploma? It's a degree of understanding of the material that they gave you. Not a degree of understanding of all the material that is there to exist. No, that the school system gave you. An Xbox cannot play a PlayStation a symbol on it because the system does not allow that. The school system does not allow for 100% truth to be spread to the common folk. School is here to dumb you down, to make you complacent, to make you okay with the system that they are preparing you for called a job. Don't they push that to you? What's your dream job? Well, I find that itself to be an oxymoron. I find that to be two opposite meanings, right? It's like, what's your dream job? Where they don't teach you entrepreneurship. So a job is like, what's your dream? Like, what's the dream position of you serving somebody else's life goals? That don't make no sense. Why should I spend my life fulfilling somebody else's dream? Why is it in school that they tell your kids don't copy things down? Why is it that they tell your kids not to expect the people, don't expect people to do the work for you? But all the successful people copy things and they have people doing all the work for them. You see what I'm saying? A true entrepreneur, a CEO of your company, you have people doing things for you. The same thing that they told you not to do because that's cheating. But the people that are doing that, the people like the trillionaires, the top 1% of the 1%, 1% and up, 5%, 10% and up, probably did some cheating, underhanded things. Why do you think there's so much inflation? Because we're printing money. It's not real. But anyway, they don't teach us about money. I don't want to get too off track, but I started off with a foreshadow and I started just going. But this is what we're sending our little black kids to. And I say this specifically because if schools were really here to educate us and teach us, why can't I speak my language? You're here to teach me, Chinese people can go to school and learn Chinese. You can learn French. You can learn Spanish. You can learn German, depending on your schools. But very seldomly, I'm sure there's, of course, always a handful out there, but very seldomly, even in the black schools, you don't even have a hip hop class. You don't even have the African languages classes. I don't even care if we weren't all Ugandan or something. Whatever language see, I don't even know what that is off the top of my head. But school's supposed to teach me that, right? School's supposed to help me learn about everything, right? Then why don't I know who I am yet? Why don't I know what tribe I belonged to originally? Like my forefathers. Why don't I know that? Because schools teach you what they want you to know. If they taught us about our melanin, if they taught us about our hair, if they taught us about how our organs are actually more radioactive than that of any other race on this planet. Yeah, and radioactive is one of those scary words. Ooh, poison. No, that's why, okay, I'm not gonna go that deep. Not in this video. I'm not gonna do it. But they don't teach us that. They don't teach us about the Tuskegee experiments. You know, they don't teach you about that. And if you don't know about that, go look that up. And you wonder why a lot of us black people are against the... That's why. When you know history does, like, when you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat it, right? History repeats itself, right? So if you don't know what the original old programming was, you're going to keep reliving it because you didn't know that this is just the same thing that they cycle over and over and over and over again. They don't teach you that. I'm not sure where I'm at in my brain, but like, you know, we're going back to like our subjects. We should not have different subjects. Our music taught everything. Our music can teach math, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's arithmetic. It can teach you science, aka if you study the effects of music, and the sun's starting to come up. But it's like if you see the effects of music on the human body, that's anatomy, that's physiology, that's culture, all from this one subject called music. But we break it down and break it down. This is what we do in our society. We break it down, break it down, break it down, break it down. And now we have all these little pieces and none of them are together. That's why it's important for us to raise our own kids. We don't need these schools. We don't need these jobs. If we all got together and we used our gifts, and I have a second video I'm probably gonna make right after this. But even with white people, you know, we need to stop with some of this white hate, because that keeps us in the mindset of the past. Some of them want to help us as much as we want to help each other. And damn, this sun is getting bright. We're gonna keep it. We're gonna keep on talking right through it. But anyway, it's like this is what school messes us up on. And we keep sending our little Tamikas to school, thinking like, oh, you know, she's so smart. She's good at filling out a bunch of answers that are going to mean nothing to her in 10 years. You know, when I look at school, I just see a big lie. I see it as, you know, people think like MK Ultra is conspiracy and all that type of stuff. We're in MK Ultra. You know, we eat our lunch at noon because that's the program. That's typically when in the workforce, when is our lunch breaks in the workforce? Noon. You know, they get you like, and then they have you always doing tasks and doing something for somebody and seeking approval. When you are in the corporate world, you don't write a report and just send it to the client. It goes through an approval process, or they hide behind quality assurance. Do we like what you wrote down? Everything that you see on TV has to be approved. Everything that you see on the news media, everything that you see in marketing, everything that you see on commercials has to be approved by someone. And when you can literally tailor your flock, aka the sheeple that still remains asleep out here, whether that's consciously or unconsciously. Consciously doing it, you're a sheep. Unconscious, you just fell into the spell, like most of us did. You know, we need to be teaching our kids the truth about everything. Like I said, there should be a lot more millionaire teenagers. You know, the kid can learn so much more about life if he just goes and lives it. The 8-year-old should be able to say, I'm going to start a lemonade stand where the kids typically play football. All I'm going to charge is $1. They're hot and thirsty. I have a nice refreshing beverage. Here, I'm going to sell this. Now you just taught your 8-year-old how to be an entrepreneur. Does school do that? They might reference it here and there, but does school tell you to go out and start your own thing? Or do they say, what's your dream job, sweetie? And we're signing them up for that. You know, we're also in schools, we are taught to stay silent in the presence of an authority figure. You know, like I said, one of my biggest things was teachers could not explain themselves to me, because I had a smart ass mouth in high school. I wasn't disrespectful. I was very respectful with it, but most of the time I felt like I was more intelligent than my teachers. Because every time I had a question that wasn't part of the curriculum, I've never gotten an answer my whole time. And I was like, that doesn't make sense. And you can't even explain it. I remember I did get in trouble for this. I didn't get no detention or anything like that, but I had to stay after class. I was like, you believe me, you want me to understand this, but you can't go into any further detail. I'm trying to learn this. You should be able to teach me this. But I'm being disrespectful and interrupting class when I'm legitimately trying to learn. And I always side-eyed that. I'm always just like, then we've been duped with college. College used to be something for the white man, the white people, now actually specifically the white man, to have a leg up in society. Oh, I've got the college. I have this credentials. But then they sometime over history, whatever, they had to start letting everybody in. Now college is just as normal as high school. And you have to go into this debt. You have to go get these expensive ass books. For what? Oh, for that piece of paper. So you are working so hard, all these late night hours, all this studying, all this stuff, balancing your social life and your educational life. And, oh, but I got my degree. You're doing all that for a piece of paper. It's a receipt. You're doing all that work, all that for a receipt, for just a degree of understanding. I have 3 bachelors. I have 3 PhDs. Let's get through a discussion without it turning into an argument. So we're arguing right now. We're yelling at one another. We're disagreeing and we're throwing names and throwing shots at one another. But you got 3 degrees. That gives you the right to now look down on someone that doesn't have those 3 pieces of paper that you do. Why do you need a degree if you have all of this money in the world? Why do you need it? Well, you need a GED for certain certificates. Why? Start your business, do this and that, bada bing, bada boom, sell, and eventually you have enough money. The billionaire, when's the last time the billionaire looked at his high school diploma, his college degrees, his college diploma, his PhD? When's the last time that the super famous I don't know, chef, when's the last time that she looked at, this and that and blah blah blah, and she looked back at her elementary school nutritional books? The same nutritional books that tell our children that it's okay to eat dairy and meat at the same time. Maybe other people can, other ethnicities can, but that literally does not work with our genetic makeup. Y'all can say, oh, we do. Who taught you that? Who taught you these things? There's a certain point where in history, maybe even pre-recorded history, that we were teaching each other. But who's taught us since the beginning of recorded history? Who taught us recorded history? When you start to ask those questions, you start to wonder why. We have our teachers. How can we expect our little children, our little gods walking around this planet, how can we expect them to know what prosperity and wealth feels like when the teachers that they surround themselves with for 10-something years are themselves not rich? How can they teach wealth if they themselves aren't wealthy? This is why entrepreneurship, it doesn't come up. It's not even part of the curriculum. They don't even think to do it something on their own. These are the teachers that you're sending your kids to. There was like K-Shay, I shouted her out on my little community tab, but like she put like a picture up, like the comparisons between schools and prisons. You got a bus to get there. You have a cafeteria with a bunch of tables lined up. You got the trays that section off your little foods and stuff. And you can't disrespect, you can't speak out against authority. Some striking similarities here. The other one is it suppresses you. It pretty much puts your life on pause. And you think you have to do it. Do you know how many prisoners right now, if they use their phone call to call a lawyer, they wouldn't be in there? If they had the money, the finances, the resources to get to these types of lawyers, they wouldn't be in there. But they want to talk to, hey, yo, speak some dirty shit to me, girl. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's how they've been dumbed down. In the prison system, not ours, in their prison system, a honey bun is gold. You know what I'm saying? A honey bun. Sugar on top of sugar. And then if you go listen to Layla Africa and you understand what a honey bun is, you be like, wait, hold up. The icing honey buns? Icing on buns? All right. And if y'all got that, cool. If you didn't, go do some research. This is what we're programming most of our warriors. You know, when you hear certain people speak about our political prisoners, you know, some of those people that are really big and influential that kind of disappeared, they ain't dead. Not all of them got assassinated. Some of them has been locked up and just like and forgot, and like the key got buried under the prison. And they can't kill them. We're just gonna make sure we can watch you for the rest of your life, so you can't get out here and wake your people back up. You know, that's what we're in. We're taught these things that work in their system. That's why we call it his story. But when we hear his story and we hear their story or my story, the mystery stuff, it's like you start to see some, wait a minute, I learned this about my people. Why didn't you even reference that? Wait, there's more than just pyramids in Egypt? There's more of them in the Grand Canyon, in the oceans, in the, Wait, and they all have these underground tunnels that people think was for walking. No, that was for energy transfers. Wait, Nikola Tesla. Wow, how did we not know about him? He was going to give us free energy. That's what the pyramids were. We had free energy already globally, and it moved it all around in this crazy ways. There was like gold and quartz pyramids that beam lights into the sky. You know what I'm saying? This was the level of intellect, but they, like, and going back to my statement about how you can learn all these different languages, the only thing that we learn about being black in our public schools, let's go through the best month of being a black person in this society. Black History Month, the shortest month in the year, okay? What's Black History Month? I think there's like a skit by RDC World, and they did like a funny little skit that was too accurate. You know, Black History Month, okay, Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves. Harriet Tubman did some stuff. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. Have a good day. Okay, let's talk about finances and the economic collapse. Hey, that's it? Oh yeah. There was this Marcus Garvey guy, but all he wanted black people to do was go back to Africa. Okay, don't look too much into him. Huh? They teach you the same people over and over. Abraham Lincoln, Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, you know, maybe a W.E.B. Du Bois, I'm not sure, I don't even know anymore. You know, all the big names that we know about. The same ones over and over and over and over and over. They don't tell you that the black people invented the streetlights, the air conditioning. They're going to tell you that there's all this history, that the black people have done all these different things. You know, they don't tell you none of that. They just tell you the same 6 people over and over every year. That's the program. That's all you need to know about being black. Otherwise, they just throw slavery in our face. Black people were slaves, and the war was fought over slavery. Slaves. Black people, you were slaves. Slaves, you were black. Black, you were slaves. Slaves. Okay, but you guys got it together. Now that you're here, wait. So what happened beforehand? What about the tribes? Oh, those are the Indians. Those weren't you, though. Those weren't you. Those were just the Indians. They have like the long, wavy hair, and they all look just like this. And then there's these other tribes that look like me on American soil. These indigo people, these blue-black people that existed here. They don't tell you none of that. They don't tell you why you're black. They don't tell you why that person's white. You know, we have all, like, yes, I do believe that eventually the different ethnicities is going to stop being a divisive thing. Yes, have pride in who you are. You can't change. I can't change that I'm black. You can't change that you're white. You can't change that you're Asian. But eventually, like, the division of it is going to disappear and we're all going to be one. But hey, as a Chinese person, I'm going to say this. Well, as a white woman, I think I have this perspective on it. As a black man, let's talk about this. You see what I'm saying? That's how we come together, but you have to find the power in yourselves first, right? And how can we have the power if we don't know about all the great things? Because they don't teach you that on purpose. And you're signing your kids up for that. That's what determines if they're smart. That's what determines if you're proud of them for some people. Kids bring home a bad grade, you're pissed off at them. You know, as a young man, as a young God, a young king that's ready to raise my own children. That's why I'm working so hard now to make sure that I can stay home with them every day, that I can guide their lives, that I can send them out on challenges so they can learn life from experience and not just in a piece of paper with a grade on it. You know what I'm saying? I do think there's a place for schools, but we need to school ourselves. We shouldn't just be schooling each other in rap battles, even though that is a form of creativity and expression. But we should be schooling each other on our true history, the powers that we have, the fact that we can levitate things, the fact that we can break away from this physical science BS. I'm trying not to cuss in this video. You know, it's like for example, right? We had the power to levitate things. We had the ability to bring flowers out of the ground. That's why we were able to grow things everywhere. That's why veganism was in the black diet. Sure, there might be histories of XYZ, but once again, who provided you that history? And what were the circumstances of it? Were you witnessing the fall? Were you witnessing, are you reading something that's the full history? I don't know. And that's the thing too. We don't know. We have so many different books where very, very prominent figures on black history will say something, they have a disagreement. They're both influential. They've both been providing information to everybody, but which one is right? That's why this physical world will never give you the answers. That's why we should all be taught about our spirituality. And that's why I saved this to the end of the video, because I know most people don't make it to the end. They teach us nothing about meditation. The only thing you know about meditation is Buddhist. That's it. They don't teach you about going within for your answers. Everything has to be fact-checked, peer-reviewed, be able to be physically proven. That's their world. But we have this term called inner standing, and that's something I've been trying to use more than the term understanding, and this thing is, it's a work in progress. But it's like we understand things. I understood that I could be doing a lot more than school, especially when I got to college. I'm like, what's the point of all this? I got my job at my college degree. Oh, I got this job because of my college degree. I'm doing nothing in regards to it. I'm learning how BS corporate America is. And I'm very vocal about that. In my own little ways, I just play the game though. Because I'm determined to beat this game. They say walk off of these plantations, but like my training makes me want to figure, like in my training, my schooling makes me want to finish. Makes me want to complete the game, beat the game, see the end credits. I want to beat the game so I can teach people how to dissect it and just disintegrate it. Screw these schools, screw these jobs, screw everything that we were taught that's not us. We didn't need money. We all had our individual gifts that we provided to our community. I gave you a good lesson. You gave me some herbs for a tea. Cool. You're good at hunting and gathering. I gave you the motivation to go out there and get it. You brought me an extra handful of the blueberries that you picked off a bush. You brought me an extra bag of that. So I'm living my purpose, and my people are that's what the physical should be used for, to show that I'm doing something good. I'm being rewarded in the higher levels in the physical by physical sustenance. We didn't need money. Because, hey, what you need? Oh, I'm good at that. Or, oh, you need that? I'm not good at that. But, hey, but Debo, he's really good. He's really good at sculpting. So if you want a nice little statue, go talk with him. And they got a whole group of people. You see what I'm saying? But we've been trained of ranks 1, 2, 3. Who's the best? Who's the best? I got to be the best. I got to be number one. I'm doing the best. I got to be the best. Screw being the best. Are we all the best? That's a real big move I'm ready to see one day. Like when I saw it, it did bring a tear to my eye. When it was like Italy or Libya, who was it? It was like in the Olympics where they shared the gold together. You're all Olympians, you're all the best, but there's always separation. There's always someone trying to stand on top. If I ever won the Olympics, for example, I would lift them up with me, and I'm sharing this award. We're all Olympians. That's the type of mindset we need to have with our community. We're all black. Who's the best black man? Who's the best black woman? No, none of us. We're all gods. The same way that we revere all of these Egyptian gods, the same way that the Greeks and Romans have their gods, it's like we look at each other all like that in that group. Some people might admire us for being gods, but in our group, in our level mindset, we're all equals up here. Oh my God, they're doing such amazing things. How are they doing that? We look at, hey, yo, what you doing? Oh, you doing that? Oh, yo, word, let me help you out with that. What you trying to get into with that? Okay, maybe I'm not the best person for that, but maybe you need someone that, you see what I'm saying? You can have your disagreements. We don't have to like everybody because everyone has their own personality. If you're forcing yourself to like everyone, then you're going to stress yourself out. But if we have a common respect when we see one another, based off of the new education that we've provided ourselves with, some big changes can happen. You know, our grandparents, our elders were born into a different time when it was more dense. There was less information out there, so it was easier to control the masses. Like I've alluded to, and especially with the things that I've been learning along the way. They thought things like lead and asbestos were okay to be manipulating and handling, not knowing how these forms of it are like messing up your body, mesothelioma, lead poisoning, all that type of stuff. So they're just walking around using these things and you're wondering why they look the way they do now, because they didn't have the information. We are now in the age of Aquarius, where the truth is being revealed to the world. It's time for you to get on that frequency and start to educate other people. We're at the point now where we're learning so much truth that when you speak it in too strong of a way, when you speak it too passionately, when you speak it like it's real to someone that still believes that it's, like as Daylight was saying, it was like Harriet Tubman, Martin Luther King, Tupac, Biggie, Obama. And you tell them, no, we are literally gods. We have the DNA of gods. The same thing that makes us brown on this planet is the same thing that you see in the night sky. That thing in space where it's just empty space. Well, that's a color, ain't it? That's a lot of black, or as some scientists have put it, really, 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 really dark green. It's like, that's a color, ain't it? So there's something providing that color. There's a reason why there's that color up there. So what is it? That's melanin up there. I believe, was it Delbert Blair or was it Dick Gregory that was talking about it? But they literally will coat some of their spacecrafts in melanin. Where do you think they get it? Why do you think there's like all these little black boys and black girls going missing? Black kings and black queens. They don't teach you that. They don't teach you about the experimentation that they do on us. They don't teach you about how they use black people's skin for shoes. They don't teach you how the different torture techniques. They don't teach you the recipes for the black men and women's private parts. Oh yeah, they had those. They don't tell you that when they're teaching us about slavery, though. It was just, oh, those black people, they pick cotton. That's it. They don't teach you about the rape. They don't teach you about the buck breaking. They don't tell you about taking away the newborns. They don't tell you about that. They don't really teach you the difference between house Negroes and field Negroes. They don't teach you that. That's stuff that we had to go back and uncover. And when you start speaking like that, that's when people start to look at you. This is why I save this to the end. The attention spans of this entire society, black, white, whatever, is way too small. I'm 27 minutes in and people are not going to hear this part. Because, oh, he's talking in circles, blah, 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 blah. Low attention spans. This is all by design. Keep you away from yourself so you don't go within to find all the answers. But we keep taking everything on the outside, so we keep telling you, go out and look for your answer. That's what we've been taught to do. They got us going in the wrong direction from the jump. The unlearning is more important right now for a lot of our people. Well, for a lot of us that have been walking this planet long enough. The youth is still young and malleable. We can change them right now. We can educate them correctly about what's going on. But we can also educate them to feel just as worthy of educating an adult. You understand? You understand? Because that's just the way things need to be. We all taught each other. It takes a village to raise a child. We are the village. We just happen to be spaced out. We happen to have this thing called the internet now. So let's use the tools until we rise back to our original power. That's what's happening now. That's why us black people are starting to grow our hair out more. That's why there's this mass resignation. Of course, that's from like the political stuff, but that's the truth coming out. All these CEOs disappearing, all these CEOs resigning, stepping down. Very coincidental, huh? But then again, all these people that are starting to quit their jobs, people that like this whole financial situation is making people quit jobs and all this type of stuff. You're more free than me right now. I got to beat this game. You know what I'm saying? I got to beat it. And I'm almost there. I can smell success. I can smell the end. But until then, So you got to make sure you live your own life and you make your own decisions. Even when you are being educated by your own black people, you need to sit down and be like, does this make sense to me? Because something that your parent might teach you, your grandparent might teach you, might be outdated. which is why I don't respect the science that they teach us in public schooling. By the time you graduate, that information is already outdated because science kept moving forward and they're still just teaching you these little building blocks. Some of y'all still think atoms are just these neat little balls with like nice little neat circles around them, valence electrons. Come on, dog. There's so much more out here. I don't know, man. We need to take our kids out of these schools. We need to start to make that transition, but that's neither here nor there. Hope y'all appreciate the message. I hope y'all let me know y'all's thoughts. Till the next one.